Okay, so what are 5 things that will bring immediate change to your marriage? Waiting. Wait, did you think we were going to give you 5 things that are going to change your marriage and bring immediate results? Well, we could, but wouldn't it be better, more productive with our time for you to get with each other and determine what 5 things need the most change in your marriage? Because we don't know your marriage better than you do. Only you really know what really needs to change. Once you identify what those 5 things are, then we get to work, and that's where we come in. So let's do this. So the fact that you clicked on this video tells me that you might really feel like your marriage needs fixing now. And I just want to tell you, we are living proof that your marriage can change.
That's right.
I'm telling you right now, no matter what the enemy tells you, no matter what thoughts you battle with in your mind, no matter what your circumstances look like, no matter how it may seem or even feel, I'm telling you, your marriage can change. So be encouraged. We know that today's video is truly going to help you.
That's right. So we're just going to kind of give you a little backstory on us. At this point, we've been married 21 years, right? Going on 22 this fall. And in the early years, I mean, when we got married, we could not wait to start our life together.
Yeah.
We were so in love. We were so excited. We got married.
Best friends.
And then, like, almost immediately, we start doing life. Life kicks in, and the constant frustration and arguing started.
Because we're trying to get used to
doing life
together, and there's going to be friction when you have your own way of doing things, your own habits, your own routines, and now
everything. I mean, think about it.
The
way you fold the towels, or you don't fold the towels. The way that you rinse a dish and put it in the dishwasher, or you leave your clothes next to the bed,
the toilet paper.
Or you leave the toilet seat
Obviously,
up.
the toilet paper goes on the outside.
There are so many little quirky things.
Comment if you feel different, but
there are so many little quirky things that at first you're thinking, nobody cares. You love each other. None of that will ever bother you. But what you begin to see happening is you start building up this frustration towards one another. And it starts with these little things. And then it becomes like accusative, like you always do this. Well, nobody always does something. So today what we really want to help you understand is that in those early years for us, we really needed to go to marriage counseling. We had done pre-marriage counseling.
But we couldn't afford it. We were broke.
Exactly. We were so poor. And for us, divorce was
never an option. We didn't even joke about it. We didn't even say the D word.
Right. For us, even in our home, like we would say it's the D word. Yeah. We are not going to say it. When in both of our minds, probably a year in, we thought for sure we'd married the wrong person. We loved God with all of our heart. We were in ministry, guys. Like we were in church every time the doors were open. We read our word every day. We prayed together. But man,
we're doing a lot of the right things. But the fact is, you've got 2 really high-strung, driven people that are very strong-willed, and the 2 worlds were clashing together.
So this is what we did. All right, we could not afford marriage counseling, or at least we thought so. So we decided to do it ourselves. And this is what we want to challenge you to do at home. If you really are struggling, I would encourage marriage counseling. We could even give you a recommendation if you happen to be in our area. But I want to just tell you, this is a great place to start. If one of you is like, I'm not going to marriage counseling, I don't need help, okay, start at home. So you're both going to sit down at a time, okay? Choose a time when you're not frustrated with one another, okay?
Not in the middle of a fight.
This could be a time that would normally be like a date night, okay? So maybe have dinner and then sit down. Grab 2 pieces of paper, okay? 2 blank pieces of paper and a pen for each person, okay? And then here's what you're going to do. On the top half, just draw a line right across the center of the paper, and on the top half, you're going to write the statement, things I love about blank. So on mine, it said, things I love about Brad. The top 5 things I love about Brad, because we could go on all day, right? But we're just going to limit it to 5.
Yeah, and in the blank, don't put the unnecessary nickname that you call him when you're mad at him. Just use his name. Just his name would be fine.
His real name.
His real name. Okay.
And her name. And then you're literally going to just stop and just think, what are the top 5 reasons I love you and I married you,
Yeah.
right? A lot of times, guys, when we start struggling in our marriage, we forget why we fell in love in the first place. We forget why we loved that person, because if you got married, there was a time when you truly loved one another and you wanted to spend the rest of your life together. But once life gets to happening and we start having conflict in marriage, we start falling out of love, if you will. And the fact is, love is a choice.
It is.
Okay, that's a video for another day, but love is a choice. So write those things down. And honestly, that part of the exercise should not be that difficult.
No.
Okay?
But also the other valuable thing that I see in this part of the exercise is a lot of times you might be cognizant and aware of the things that you love about the other person. You haven't forgotten, but maybe you're not very good at being verbal.
And saying it.
It's really important. We're being honest, the real and the
Oh,
raw.
ow.
I know. Ouch.
This is going to sting.
You're going to need to get some baking soda
Gosh.
because it's going to sting.
I know what you're about to say.
All right. So are you by nature very good?
Throw me under the bus. Okay, do it.
Are very good at verbal encouragement?
No, I'm not. By nature,
It's not that you don't.
it's not
It's
that
not
I
that
don't
you're not
think it.
proud of the other person.
Yep.
Whether it be me or anybody else.
Right.
It just doesn't come naturally.
It doesn't. I
And it's a
didn't
product of
grow
your
up.
environment.
Yep.
Just
Lots of reasons. I didn't grow up with that, and that's just not.
like my grandfather was the most amazing man on earth, but he never would say "I love you."
Yeah, and I think for me,
Doesn't mean he didn't. I know he did.
I didn't. My personality is not one that I constantly need affirmation. Like, I just know I'm good and I don't need to tell me. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, but the truth is, what? The truth is, I was really bad at it. So the things I loved about you, I rarely said them. And to be honest, you're very good at it. In the beginning, that part wasn't too difficult. But now we're getting ready to get to the bottom half of that page, and it's more challenging. All right? So on the bottom half of that page, here's what you're going to do. You're going to write down the top 5 things you want to see changed about the other person. All right? So the top 5 things I want Brad to change. And here's what you're going to do. You're going to do it without talking. That's going to be tough, okay? Nobody's talking. Nobody's discussing anything, okay? I want you to seriously think about it and seriously pray. What are the top 5 things? Because in all reality, the little things like the laundry, the dirty clothes next to the bed, is that really one of those top 5 things? You gripe about it every day, but maybe you need to let that one go, okay? Maybe we need to pick our battles and learn on what we really need to work on. And so pray about it, think about it, and then make your list.
Okay, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to exchange the lists. All right. Now, this is the hard part because this is where you get to really read over and take in what the other person, your spouse, has said about you. And it is going to sting, but you know what? Sting. The truth sometimes hurts. And I think the beauty of this exercise is so oftentimes, at least I know for me, and I'm sure this is true for you, is there are things that you do or say, ways that you behave, and you don't even recognize or realize the impact, the negative impact that it has on your spouse.
It's become such a habit that you don't even, maybe it's not even intentional to hurt someone, but you don't realize it's bothering them so much. So, you know, one of the things I love, Romans chapter 12:3, it says this: don't think you are better than you really are. Be honest in your evaluation of yourself, okay? So this is one of those moments where when those lists are exchanged, you realize there are things you can improve.
Absolutely.
Right? Even the best of marriages.
No matter how far along your marriage gets, no matter how many years you've been married,
you can always
make it better.
There will
always be things that you can make better.
So when you exchange those lists, the next thing is you read them in silence, okay? You read them in silence. You take it in. You read the top 5 first. Don't jump to the bottom. Don't be cheaters, okay? There's a reason for this. You need to understand they're making deposits into your life and your marriage first. Then here are 5 things I would like you to change, okay? And so after you have read them without saying a word, then you discuss them so that the other person can explain. But here's what you do. Brad, when you begin to explain it to me, here's what began to happen. Immediately, the perfection inside of me, like,
wells up.
Ooh, the defenses come up, and I want to.
You want to respond.
I want to respond. I want to tell you why I'm like that. I want to defend my honor. And you cannot do that. The second...
This isn't the time for that.
Nope. The second you do that, this is over. And honestly, you're going to end up in a fight, and it's going to be the worst exercise in the world. It's not going to be the best.
This can be the best exercise or the worst exercise.
So you let your guards down.
Yep.
We took those lists. That day that we did it, I'll never forget. I know exactly where we were. We took the list. We chose 2 things off of the list of 5 and said, we'll start working on them right now. You can't change everything overnight. I mean, we're talking about habits, okay? These are tough. You might even have to just choose one. We chose a couple, and then we hung those lists in our room right beside our desk, which was in our bedroom. We could see them every day.
So we constantly see it.
So we always saw, these are the 5 things that you love about me, but these are the 5 things that I'm driving you nuts with. And if you will seriously do this exercise, ask God to help you, and then truly try to work on you, those 5 things, you will see immediate change in your marriage. And even when your spouse realizes you're trying, and the other person is trying, it's huge. It changes
that alone
everything.
Will bring immediate change.
That's right.
Into your marriage. Well, I want to close with what King David said.
Okay.
All right. I love Psalm 139, King David, verses 23 and 24. And he says this, search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my anxieties, and see if there is any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way of everlasting. I love that because David becomes such a prime example for you and me that we should be so transparent before the Lord, so willing to just open up our heart, pour ourselves out and say, God, I want you to do a 360 review on me. I want you to show me, reveal, unveil, uncover the things that are inside of me that I don't even see myself. Help me to identify these things, and help me, God, as I begin to get to work on these things with your Holy Spirit right next to me. Help me to improve and make myself better, not just so I can be better for you, God, and for your kingdom, but I can be better for my spouse.
Yes.
And if you'll do that, then you will begin to see immediate change as you experience an incredible marriage makeover. And that's our prayer for you today.
Yep.